Andrew, it's good to be talking to you today. Could you just give us a brief background of your project Dreamers, which has been helping seekers of sanctuary in Leicester?
Dreamers is a youth work project for teenagers who live in the county of Leicestershire, and it's for young people, asylum seekers or refugees, and it's just a youth club that brings people together to either help them integrate, learn about new things, learn about the UK, learn about British history, things that help them fit in, but also about themselves, gives them confidence and gives them a collective voice where they can go out and campaign and talk to MPs about issues that affect them.
What would you say motivated you or inspired you to want to be involved in such a noble cause?
I've been a youth worker for 27 years, and most of that time I've spent believing in equal opportunities, a fairer society, societies that work together, societies that come together. So I don't like things that are around division and separation. And about 8 years ago, I was very concerned at the amount of racism, separation, and the way that asylum seekers and refugees were talked about. And when I met people, they weren't anything like what the media was saying about them. And there was a great need, actually, to bring people into a wider community setting.
What would you say are some of the challenges that Dreamers as a project is facing in trying to help young asylum seekers?
Some of our young people have had horrendous journeys and horrendous experiences, usually at the hands of adults and people like people traffickers. And so for some of those, the difficulties we have as a staff team sometimes is listening to those stories and trying to be supportive to young people in that horrendous situation, so that their personal difficulties are very much shared with us, and that can have quite an impact on us. We also have difficulties around funding and support, really. You know, it's not a popular cause for funders to come to support, but we do find that being a group has helped organisations talk to us, become involved in us and give support. So it's actually giving a lot of community strength.
You have mentioned something about young people seeking asylum, meeting members of parliament. How does that happen?
The young people we've got have many issues they want to talk about. Some of those are around how the asylum system works for them or doesn't work for them. Some of them are around things like the war in Afghanistan and what their point of view is. A lot of our young people are afraid to be political and afraid to have a voice. So part of our work is to give them the confidence and belief that they can be political, that they can come together, they can have opinions, and they can celebrate a freedom of speech, which they might not have experienced. It's quite a fantastically empowering experience for many of them. Many of them will say things like, when we've left Parliament, like, if we had said the things we've said today in our own countries to our own politicians, we would be dead tomorrow morning. And this is what's fantastic. You know, many of them also don't believe that because they're not British, that their opinions don't count, and they do. They do, and they can make a difference, and they can go to talk to people. They might not always get listened to and hear the answers they want to hear, but it is a celebration of our own democracy in this country.
What would you say gives you the most satisfaction in terms of your involvement with Dreamers?
Most satisfaction I get is when I go to a citizenship ceremony where young people become British citizens. One of them described to me, and it was a very tearful experience for him, that when he got his citizenship certificate at County Hall, it was like a huge weight had been lifted off his shoulders and he had become a human being once again. And that is immensely satisfying for me.
What are some of the success stories that Dreamer as an organisation is proud of?
Successes can be incredibly small and simple sometimes for us. Success for me is when a young man said to me, he goes, "That's the first time I've written my name. Thank you for teaching me how to hold a pen and write." So little things like that can be massively moving and experiential. You know, it's a great experience for them. And other ones, you know, you can have the great big ones like Sir Al Ainsley Green. He was the UK Children's Commissioner coming to talk with the group, which shows that the group can interest those right at the very top of decision making and those that are campaigning around human rights.
Thank you, Andrew, for empowering young people to speak for themselves in terms of dealing with the challenges that face them.
Thank you very much, Kenneth, for the experience.